on. I'm a mess, Keith. All right.
Well, while you're studying it out, I will start the program. All right, guys, it is that time of week. It is Next Guy Up time. The time where Mike and I get together and talk sports of the week. Yes, there are sports. It's starting to creep up. We do have something to talk about. We have something to get excited about. And it's happening all the way across the world. That is the Korea Baseball Organization. There's KBO. We're going to talk about a little KBO. We're going to introduce you to some of the teams and tell you why we're excited about it. We're going to talk about a little Pete Rose. Pete Rose back in the news. Going to touch on Mr. Pete Rose. But before we do any of that, we need to go down to the talent portion of the program and bring in Cousin Mike. What's up, Cousin Mike?
What's going on, KP? How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I got a little bit of a different setup running tonight, and I'm all over the place. So just bear with me. I'm a mess.
Take your time. I'm going to say hello to a few people. We are on Facebook Live. I see Frank Sasso. I see Frank Cabral. I see Michael O'Neill. All our regulars popping in to say hi. Hello, guys. We are talking sports tonight. We got sports back, guys. There's sports on the horizon. Yeah, we've been watching The Last Dance. Yeah, we've been watching whatever we can from yesteryear. But there's actually something current to get involved with right now. Michael, what do you think?
So I haven't seen a lot of it. My first complaint of the baseball season, my first official complaint, it starts at 5:30 in the morning. Who are we kidding? I'm not waking up at 5:30 to watch Korean baseball.
Well,
at 5:30 in the morning to watch the Mets play in the World Series, and then just disconnect from social media and watch it after. But it's baseball. I've caught the replays, which are usually spoiled by our Facebook group. We're all in. We're all in. Everybody's got a team. I kept it nice and simple. I took the Twins because I was in Minnesota. I already have a Twins jersey, so it only made sense. And you took who? The Bears?
I took the Bears, the Doosan Bears. They won the World Series last year. And just once, Michael. Once, I want to hitch my wagon to a winner.
Jump on the bandwagon.
So I'm jumping right on the bandwagon. I don't know what they're serving on that Korean bandwagon. Maybe it's a little Korean barbecue. I don't care. I am jumping on the bandwagon. I am a Doosan Bears from way back when, from Tuesday. I am a Doosan Bears fan. So we're going to tell you who the teams are. We've seen you on Facebook Live. Want to talk WWE? Frank Cabral, Dana Brooks getting the push. I'm sure that's a big thing in WWE. I haven't been really paying attention to WWE. We have a good friend, Andy. Check out his podcast, Gimmick podcast. Gimmick, I believe it's called the Gimmick Pro Wrestling Podcast. Check that out. So yeah, I haven't watched it either. But Michael, as much as we Americans want everything to accommodate to us, they play the games at regular time in Korea. If you want to watch it live, you're going to have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're not going to play it at 2 o'clock in the morning so you can watch it at a nice, comfortable time. Sorry, they're not going to do that.
I'm not doing it.
No, you're not doing it. What I've been doing, I've been DVRing it, and just when I have a chance, I just dump through it, see what I can see. We're getting a taste. If you're a sports fan in this country, we're getting a taste of what it looks like of sports with no fans. And I watched a very little bit of it, but I don't need the fans. I don't need the fans. They're doing a good job of pumping in. You haven't watched it yet, but they're pumping in sounds, and it's still fun. So I'm having a good time with that.
Yeah. I mean, and let's be real. It's baseball. It's back. I don't think we can really overstate how nice it is to have literally just something I haven't seen before is back on TV, and it's a good product. It's a good league, they've been around a long time, the Korean Baseball League. I love that I can't read any players' names.
Very tough. Very tough. I know I'm going to say I'm wrong. I'm going to talk about a few of them, but I know I'm going to say I'm wrong. And
we're going to butcher. There's one that I'm not going to butcher, and I'm going to save that for later.
And since this is the internet, no one's going to correct us. No one jumps all over grammar and stuff like that. Everybody just lets that go. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine if we say something wrong, right?
Yeah, I mean,
right. as a side
Listener-
conversation. Wrestling
One
happens.
listener in South Korea is going to definitely complain about it.
Yeah,
though.
somebody's gonna come out. All right, let's talk about some of these teams. I said I like the Doosan Bears. You like the LG Twins. Now, the funny thing, not the funny thing, but something we're not used to here is every one of those teams, like soccer, is corporate sponsored. So it's not the Seoul Twins. It's not the whatever other city. I don't know anything about Korea. Bears. It's actually sponsored by companies. Kia has the Tigers. Samsung has the Lions. Doosan Bears. LG Twins. The NC Dinos. I wish I knew what NC. Maybe we'll look that up. What NC Dino stands for. Every team is sponsored corporately.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they need that. This league is as old as you, Mike. This league started in 1982.
Yeah, so it's a year older than me.
It's a year older than you.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get the league going, and they're like, all right, now I think we're ready for Michael. We'll bring him on. And then you came in 83.
That was they just wanted to, and it looks like they only started with 3 teams, which is an interesting number of teams to start with. They started with the Bears, the Giants,
Let's go Bears.
and the Lions, which I think I would imagine you'd start with 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess 3 works too.
The teams don't air travel to each other. They take trains and drive. The furthest difference between 2 of the stadiums, the furthest is 4.5 hours. So that's how tight knit this is. So that's a cool little thing.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember, just a quick geography lesson here. Most countries in other like outside of the United States, and I guess some South America would be a bad example too. Most European, that area, which I know South Korea is not in Europe, I get it. Most of those countries are the size of states here in the U.S.
It's true.
So I mean, South Korea is probably the size of, it's a 4-hour drive. It's probably the size of North Carolina. You know what I mean? Like it's 38,000 miles squared. I don't know
where's the barbecue better, Korea or South North Carolina? That's the question.
According to the Google.
While you look that up, I just want to say to Frank Cabral on Facebook Live, Carol Baskin is not a sponsor for the Tigers. Carol Baskin is not a sponsor. Okay.
Right. So it's the size of Minnesota.
Okay.
That's the closest U.S. state. So, I mean, I lived in Minnesota. You can drive north to south in Minnesota in about 6-7 hours. It's a country, but a lot of countries, once you leave the U.S., are tiny in comparison. So I can't imagine travel would ever be. Do they even have 2 airports? Like they maybe have 2 airports,
Yeah.
So
I wish I knew more about Korea. I'm sure we're going to know more about Korea as we watch this and get deeper into this until the major league starts and everybody forgets about this. But right now it is the only game in town. So, I'm in all on it. I'm all in on it. Well, let's talk about some of the players that you might, be fans of or buy their jerseys. I don't know. I don't know how far it's going to go. Hang Jung Yang. I hope I'm saying it right. Lefty. Last year, he had a 2.29 ERA in 184 innings. That's the thing with these Korean-born players. They pitch. I was listening to Kurt. I forgot who it was. He pitched for the Mets. I'll think of his name. He's C.J. Natowski. C.J. Natowski pitched in Korea for about a year or 2 years, and he was letting in on what they do there. And he said their bullpen sessions for Korean-born players, not foreign players, but Korean-born players, are usually 200 to 300 pitchers themselves. That's the bullpen session. Then they get on the mound. They just train their arms to be rubber arms over there. Yeah. That's probably why they never really make it in the. I think Chan Ho Park. I think Chan Ho Park was from Korea. I looked that up.
I still have to pull up. I got it.
But not a lot of Korean pitchers or position players for that matter. I know there was a guy up in Minnesota came from Korea. The next coming of Christ, but he didn't really pan out. That's why these players don't make it in our game, but it's just because it's our version of the game. Their version is different. They train their pitchers differently, where they can throw 200, 300 innings because they're not as taxing with the pitching. Or who knows the reasoning? But the fact is that their pitchers can do it, and there's less injuries. Now, the guy that threw 300-inning bullpen session, who was on C.J. Natowski's team, did go down with injury, did have to get Tommy John, But these are the way these guys, train in Korea. So it's a different game. Keep that in mind when you watch it. It's a different game. They focus on different parts of the game. So maybe we can learn something and see something that maybe is missing from today's game. It's not going to be the same as Major League Baseball. It's not going to be the same what you used to. But if you're a baseball fan, really pay attention to the nuances that we don't get to see. Right?
Yeah. One thing, the immediate notice is that bat flipping is it's an art form over there. It's encouraged. It's celebrated. If you hit a no doubter, if the batter knows it's leaving, you know it's leaving because his bat is flipping somewhere.
Yeah, it's going.
They're all about it. It's definitely not frowned upon like it is here in the U.S. in our giant unwritten rule book that we have floating around somewhere.
Right.
Which I love. I'm all about it. Flip the bat. You got it. You know you got it. Flip the bat. It's awesome.
There's a catcher on the NC Dinos, and that's Andy's team. A couple of guys jumping on the Dinos. Dinos off to a great.
Looks like Mike O'Neill took the Dinos.
Michael, the Dinos, whatever. Yuji Yang, catcher there. He hit 354, had a 438 OPS, and a 574 slugging. That's not great. But with 20 home runs and more walks and strikeouts, that's a huge thing over there. So the numbers aren't going to knock you over the head. They don't go for stats like that. They don't play the game like that. It's not more. It's not an individualistic way to approach. It's a team game. There, they play the teams. They don't really zone in on individual stats. So if you like that kind of thing, and I do, you look forward to seeing how they do it. This guy signed a 4-year pact worth $10 million, which is a huge contract over there. Here, it's a normal, almost like a 23rd man on the roster contract, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a different game. It's a different game.
Yeah, it's super fun. One thing I did notice that I really liked was right over the catcher, instead of fans, which obviously no fans right now, but in general, they have a giant screen that shows ball strikes and how many out.
That's great.
It's huge, and it's lit up. So everybody, and it's for the players. It's not for the fans. It's for nobody other than the guys in the field. So they can just take a quick glance and figure out the count and how many outs there are.
Right.
Which I'm sure leads to less. How many blooper reels of there where the guy catches the fly ball on the second out and then tosses it into the stands?
Yeah, I don't think it happens often.
Second out of the third out,
No Benny Agbayani moments over there.
Yeah, so he's tossing it into the stands and running off the field, and then he realizes, like, oh shit, that was only the second out. Man,
Frank loves the bat flip.
Yeah,
I love the bat flip. You love the bat flip.
Yeah, and they brought over some big names. So coaching the Tigers, which I don't think we made a joke about the Tigers, but I don't think anybody actually took the Tigers, is none other than Matt Williams.
Matt Williams of Washington Nationals fame, manager of the year, not in Washington, has now taken over the Tigers in the Korean Baseball League.
And I was listening to the game today. It happened to be a Tigers game. I think it was. I don't know. It might not have been a Tigers game. Who knows? No, actually, you know what it was? It was the Bears-Twins game. But they brought up Matt Williams and how he's coaching the Tigers, and they're off to an 0-2 start. The Tigers were compared to the Yankees of Korean baseball. So it's
Tigers were?
Yeah. So it's super controversial. Like, they have 11 championships, which is more than any other team, right? They've only been around since 2001. So in 19 years, they've won 11 championships.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And they hired Matt Williams. This is his rookie year as the manager there. And they're off to an 0-2 start. So that's kind of to bring it back to the U.S. a little bit. That's a big deal that they're all like the fans of the Tigers are like, what's going on right now? Why are we 0-2?
Right. Well, the thing is, there's 10 teams, so it's not as impressive as the Yankees winning 27 against 30 teams throughout the country. It's 10 teams, so if you get a hot, squad and they're together with each other for 6, 7, 8 years, you're going to win a bunch of championships. in a 10-team league. So it's impressive on its own right. It's always good to win championships.
Right.
But Matt Williams and Frank just said it. He's more famous with the Giants. Yeah, but we're talking about managing. He only managed the Nats, and he did a horrendous job. So maybe this is his way back to the majors. He does well with the Giants, and he gets noticed, and he gets back to the majors. A lot of guys have that opportunity. Aaron Alta, who played for the Phillies, was the outfielder for the Phillies, he's got a chance. The whole world's watching him. He didn't know it was going to happen. He didn't know he was going to go to Korea and actually be on ESPN. In the first game, baseball is going to be shown here in America in 2020, and there he is. He took a chance and went to Korea, and he's starting in the first game on American TV in 2020. That's how whack this is. It's 2 a.m. on the East Coast, but it's there. You know, he has a chance to shine. So take your chance and shine. Korea baseball, KBO has a whole chance to shine right now.
Yeah, and if you don't think that scouts and managers and coaches and front office staff of MLB teams are not paying attention to the KBO and looking for that diamond in the rough, that hidden gem, like that one guy that you're like, oh, look at that guy. We need him on our team.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely happening right now. 100%.
100%.
Because they have they have nothing better to do. They're just waiting for their season to start.
Right.
And that's what you do. Like you have international scouts anyway. Now the whole scouting department just became international scouts.
Right.
And they're all scouting the KBO because that's the only baseball to play. So, and
Absolutely.
10 teams in Minnesota. Now, again, let's put this into context. It's Minnesota we're talking about.
That's true.
You can't have 32 teams.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
And guys like me and you were playing.
What's wrong with that?
I mean,
give him a shot. Give him a shot, KBO. Give him a shot. All right, Mike, the last thing I want to talk about the KBO, and I hope we all make it there and have enough interest that we follow it when we get there, but it's their playoffs. They got an interesting playoff system. Now, there's 10 teams, so what do you do with 10 teams? There's no leagues. It's 10 teams straight. There's no East, West, none of that. Okay. So what they do is the first team gets a bye. He's in the championship. He made it to the final round. 4 plays 5 in a 3-game series, but 4 starts 1-0. They give him the 1-0. So it's basically a 2-game series. You know, so the 4 seed gets a little up. 5's got to win out. 5's got to win out all the way. 5 can't lose.
5's already on an elimination game.
Yes. So 4 now plays 3. 4 now plays 3 in a best-of-5 series. And then the winner of that plays 2. So 1 World Series, 2 has made it to the championship series, 3 is waiting to host the division series, and the wild card series is being fought out by 5 and 4, with 4 having the upper hand by already having a game up. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then 6 through 10 are just out?
Yeah, they're done. It's over.
Okay.
That's a great – I mean, for a 10-league system, it's a great league. It's a great league. You know, so it gives you – it makes the regular season important. We always talk about regular season. We argue about this in sports all the time. We talk about, when just before I was having an argument today on another I argue every day and everything, on another page about the Braves. Are the Braves a disappointment in the 90s because they didn't win the World Series? No. It's harder to do what they do than to win a few World Series. And I'll tell you why. Because there's 162 games every year. They won a division every single year for 12 years?
Yeah.
So playoffs, there's a lot of skill, but there's also a lot of luck. The regular season, it's nothing but skill. Luck does not play a part in that 162 years. Yeah, it can with injuries, maybe. But overall, the period of a whole season, luck doesn't play as much as a part as it does in the playoffs. So in this series, in the KBO, their emphasis is on the season. You want to make it to the top, or the second, or the third. Right. 4th and 5th, you're in the game, but you want to make those top 3 teams. So you're playing hard to the very, very end. I love it.
6 through 10, you get to do seppuku. I'll let everybody Google that to find out what that is later. SEPPUKU. Google that.
Right.
You're not going to be happy with it either when you find out what that is.
I'm ready and happy with it.
How many games do they play?
They play 100 and I believe I looked it up before. It's not as much as the major leagues,
but it's triple digits.
It's triple digits. Yeah,
Okay.
they get up there. They get up there. Let's check it out. I looked it up before. I'm not sure, but they play a bunch of games. It started, like I said, we started in 1982 with right around the time you started.
Well, while you're looking that up, there's another sport that's starting up as well, fan free. UFC 249 is this Saturday night. They're going to be fighting with nobody in the stands. The reason I'm doing this while KP's talking is because I know he has no idea about any of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I thought I'd just remind, and I think golf is getting ready to start up again too.
Golf is starting soon. That is true.
Golf is starting to get some events on the calendar, I believe. And those are the kind of sports. UFC. I'm not surprised just because of Dana White. But golf was definitely one of the ones we knew would be back first, just because you can spread people out so far on a golf course. Like it's 2 men to a hole plus their caddies. So you got 4 guys over the course of every 300 yards or so. I think they can find 6 to 10 feet in there somewhere.
You hope. 144 is the games they play in the KBO. 144. They play, but the emphasis is on the regular season. I like that. So this league was tailored towards my taste.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to catch on because it is tough to get a popularity going when you play in the early morning. Is anybody going to care enough to Google or to DVR? You're going to get the overnight crowd. You're going to get the kids that refuse to go to sleep. Are they into baseball? Who knows? So ESPN has their work cut out for them if they want to return on their investment. But baseball's back somehow. We got something to watch. It's live.
Well, and this will realistically, this is only going to last until our baseball comes back.
Yes, absolutely.
Once our baseball's back, everybody will forget that we were watching Korean baseball. Unless you really fall in love with it, and then you're going to have to go out of your way to figure out how to watch it online, and follow stuff. But this will do. This will do. Hey, unless it's a movie you want to watch to see how it ends, you'll check back with it just to see if your team makes it all the way. If it's on long enough for you to start caring. Right now, my team wins the World Series. Yeah, it'll be. You're gonna get the twin. You're gonna get a World Series championship this year, and it's gonna be a twin team. Check that out. Yeah, and they started in 1990. Wasn't that the year? 91, the Twins won the World Series. I was close. 90 was the Reds. Yeah, that would have been coincidental. But it gives me a nice segue to jump over to what I want to talk to next, and that is, of course, Pete Rose. Why not talk about Pete Rose? He's relevant. He's as relevant as they come. Because all this guy does, ever since he started playing baseball, was be accused and defend himself over everything. And yes, he puts himself in these positions with the gambling and with the underage sex. But other than that, he's a good guy. Now, Michael, and I'm going to rant on this. It comes out recently, I don't know if it was today, yesterday, day before, whenever, that Pete Rose in 1984, in all his 95 games at the Montreal Expos, is being accused by a groundskeeper from 1984. A 30-year-old story. Yeah. Of corking his bat. This is what has to go. This is what he has to defend himself about today, 2020. No baseball being played. Pete Rose, who's already had enough bad press to last 6 lifetimes, banned from baseball, the biggest omission in the Hall of Fame, bar none. I don't care what anyone says, not even open discussion, is now being accused of something so stupid by a groundskeeper in Montreal that no longer has a team and hasn't had one for years. I barely remember the Expos. Is bat. I barely remember the Expos. I'm turning 37 this year, and I can barely remember the Expos. I know the Marlins way more than I know the Expos. And I wish Pete Rose, I wish somebody sticks a mic in his face and he just he gets in real close and taps it and he's like, excuse me, go fuck yourself. And then he just turns around and walks away. Because why bother? Why bother arguing with anyone anymore about anything if you're Pete Rose?
I know. But why now? I'm so, Michael, what I'm tired of.
I'm guessing it was his deathbed confession. That's all I can imagine. That's the only thing I could. His last words were, Pete Rose cocked his bat, and then he tipped over.
Because I'm just so tired of these accusations coming out. It's so unfounded. It's so ridiculous to throw this out there now, and to people to run with it. Who the hell is this guy? What's his name? Danny Gallagher? No, that's who broke. I gotta get this guy's name. I gotta search for his name. I had it before. It's a ridiculous Joe Jammer. To Joe Jammer to have any credence in anyone's life to say, "Oh, Joe Jammer said it," it has to be true. I'm so tired of this. This is the Twitter, social media life we live. That anyone can accuse anyone of anything, and if it gets teeth, it becomes reality. It just reminds me of that asswipe Scott Boros' son, who decided to tell everybody that Mike Trout takes human growth hormones for no reason. Threw it out there in the middle of the Astros scandal. Why not? Why not get everybody to jump on something else? Hey, out of nowhere, Mike Trout takes human growth hormones. Why?
I don't get it.
And then people grab onto it. They grab onto it with both hands. The buzzers, the Houston Astros buzzers, still unfounded, can't prove crap. But because some fake Twitter account said it, has to be real. Has to be real. Michael, I'm so freaking tired of it. I cannot stop. I so hate it. I so hate it. When I saw this Pete Rose thing, I was like, enough of this BS. Enough. Come with me with if you're gonna come with me with this, now come with me with proof that no one else corked their bat. Because it's that ridiculous. It's that outlandish. If you're gonna say that someone corked their bat in 1984, now I want you to prove everybody else wasn't corking their bat. And now I'll listen to you.
I don't get it. I don't get this. The cult, like, I loved life. So life was better before the internet. I don't care what anybody says.
You're 100% right.
When we just called each other and talked and guys just played sports and yeah, you probably assume stuff, like we all kind of knew McGuire and Bonds and definitely Jose Canseco was juicing. There was no doubt Jose Canseco was juicing.
Yeah. So what?
But maybe he wasn't. Who knows?
Who cares?
And who cares? Who cares? The Bash Brothers? If you didn't like the Bash Brothers.
The record books are blah, 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 blah. I don't root for the record books.
Yeah.
I don't watch the record book. I don't miss right now. I'm not missing the record books. I miss baseball. So who cares about the damn stats? Who cares about the records? Who cares? Pete Rose corked his bat in 1984. Joe Jammer said so. Joe Jammer said so. Groundskeeper. And it's news.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous is what it is.
I'm going to tell everybody that Mickey Mantle slept with my dog. Mickey Mantle slept with my dog in 1981. He was drunk. He came to my house and he slept with my dog. And I'm going to see if it makes it all the way up. Mickey Mantle is in the bestiality. There it is down there. It happened. I said it. It happened. It's a done deal.
We won't remind anybody I was born in 83. I saw it.
I just, it just drives me crazy. Anyone could say anything. It's dangerous.
It really is.
Dangerous. It really is. Especially now with everything that's going on. This is what it comes down. Like I understand sports writers are dying for something to write about. Dying for it. But this? Kick a man while he's not only down, buried. Pete Rose is buried in baseball. Buried. The all-time hits king. We already have an assault on the home run records. The most important play in the game. And the records, both season and career, trashed because of steroids. Yeah. Now the all-time hits, the second most important stat in the game, is trying to be trashed because of a corked friggin' bat that might have happened or might not have happened in 1984.
It's stupid. And you know what? He probably was caulking his bat. Again, if you're playing pro sports,
1980.
It was the 80s.
What was the caulking his bat? He was high on coke.
I was going to say. He had to caulk the bat because the pitcher was probably doing lines in between innings. Give himself a little, little extra.
Little
Got a little extra in the tank.
something. Yeah, not.
Nolan Ryan was doing coke in between innings.
Better than
How did he get all those strikeouts? How did his arm last so long? How did he throw that many innings? Had to be cocaine. I saw it myself.
You saw it yourself?
That's my reason I'm starting. Ryan was doing coke.
Ryan was doing coke.
That's what the Ryan Express was. It's 2 rails that ran down the dugout.
That's it.
He's like, oh no, it's because he's like a train. No. It's the train tracks he left on the table.
Julio Franco would run after him. Choo choo. Stephanie, yeah,
it.
absolutely. Back in those Texas Ranger days, yeah. Julio Franco is a sick bastard too. Julio Franco, to bring this podcast full circle, is the hitting coach for the Giants in the KBO. So that's what you call people in the podcast world, a little full circle.
Full circle. Bringing it back.
Bringing it back. Speaking of bringing it back, Mike, you got anything else this week?
One more thing. If I hear TB12 and TB again, I won't fucking lose my mind.
Explain.
Yes, we all know Tom Brady is playing in Tampa Bay. We all know Tom Brady's brand is TB12. If I hear TB12 in TB one more time, I give up. I give up on sports media. If you can't come up with something more original than TB in TV, no shit, folks. No shit. It's the
same. And if he gets, just think if he gets tuberculosis, it's TB, TB12, now suffering from TB.
Yeah, it's too much. I can't. I heard it 4 times today. I only had sports talk radio on for like a half hour, and I heard TB in TB 4 times. Ridiculous. Stop it. Be original. We're barely original, but at least we're original.
We're originally original. I don't know what that means.
I can't.
Your mom is TB12, Clay Smith said.
Thanks, Biff. All right, Biff. That's one of my old Marines. That's one of my old...
Biff.
That makes sense.
Can I say Biff? I'll call him Clay. Hello, Clay.
No, it's Biff. That's Biff. We nicknamed him Biff in Iraq. And if you ever meet him, it's
You'll
Biff.
See why. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually Clayton, but it's definitely Biff.
Well, his mom listens to this podcast then.
Yeah.
No, you are not TB12. You are not.
Love you.
You might be the GOAT, though. You might be the GOAT.
Love you.
That's
love
a good
Biff.
Good.
Yep.
Good. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Mike. Let's wrap this baby up. Next week, I want to talk about sports radio and its. I don't know where it's going. I want to know your opinion. So I'll give you a week to think about it. I think sports radio is going to go bye-bye one day. I really do. I think we are in the medium that's going to take over. I don't think we're going to have it on the radio anymore, but we will get more into that next week. I don't know if you want to give a couple minutes on that right now, but
we're already at 33 and shit. Lord knows we're not going to have anything to talk about next week, so let's save it.
This is true. So that is it for Cousin Mike. I am KP. Reminding you.
Cheers. I'm trying to toast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Reminding you to come back next week. And until then, who's next? All right, brother. All right. Yeah, I definitely typed it this week. So let me stop this.
Yeah, I just ended Facebook too. So yeah, that's one of my